The question says find s such that the fourth root of 81 raised to power 2x equals the cube root of 27 raised to power x plus pi. Okay, what's the value of x in this equation? So how do you go about this solution? Okay, so for the fourth root of 81, okay, raised to power 2x equals the cube root of 27 raised to power x plus pi. Okay, the fourth root of 81 we have to be 3, okay, because 3 raised to power 4 is 81, okay, so here we have 3 raised to power 2x, okay, equals, for the cube root of 27 is 3, okay, 3 raised to power 3 is 27, so here we have raised to power x plus pi, okay, so from here we have 3 raised to power 2x equals, here we have 3 raised to power x plus pi, okay, so we have the same base, so here we have 2x equals x plus pi, okay, so since we are working with x, so we collect like times, we have 2x minus x equals pi, so for 2x minus x we have it to be x equals pi, so the value of x in this equation represents pi. Okay, so we can check, so by the time we verify, okay, when x equals pi, so come back to this equation, so we have this to be, okay, let's take it from here, okay, so we have this to be 3 raised to power 2x equals 3 raised to power x plus pi, so let's see the two sides of the equation to make it equal, using, by the time we put in x to be pi, so let's come here, so we have 3 raised to power 2 times pi, which is the value of x, okay, so here we have 3 for x represents pi plus pi, so at this left hand side of the equation, this equals 3 raised to power 2 pi equals 3 raised to power 2 pi, so the two sides of the equation is equal, so that means the value of x equals pi. The question says find the value of x in this equation, okay, if root 2 raised to power x times the fourth root of 4 raised to power pi equals 8 pi. So how do we solve for x in this equation? Solution, okay, so for root 2 raised to power x times the fourth root of 4, okay, raised to power pi equals 8 raised to power pi, okay, so for root 2 we can have this as 2 raised to power half, which is known as this raised to power x, okay, times, for this we can have this as 4 raised to power 1 over 4 pi equals 8 pi. So from here we can have this as, when we apply the exponent rule, we can have this as 2 raised to power x over 2 times, for 4 we can simplify this further to have this as 2 raised to power 2 over 4, okay, when we apply the exponent rule we multiply it with the external power, so equals 8 pi. So for 2 raised to power x over 2 times, so when we simplify this, we have this to be pi, we have this to be 2 raised to power pi over 2. When we simplify this, this is half, multiplied by this, we have this equals 8 pi. Okay, so from here we have the same base, multiplying the same base, we will add up the power, so we have 2 raised to power x over 2 plus pi, which is this, over 2 equals 8 pi. Okay, so we can have equal base, so how do we do that? So we have 2, so by the time we look at this, x over 2 plus pi over 2 equals, for 8 we can write it as 2 raised to power 3 pi. Okay, so when we take it from here, we have this to be 2, which is this, so when we simplify the power, okay, so this x plus pi over 2, that's a common denominator, equals the other side of the equation. Okay, when we apply the exponent rule, we have this to be 3 pi. Okay, so from here we have the same base, so we equate the exponents. So here we have x plus pi over 2. Okay, sorry, equals 3 pi. So from here we can cross multiply. So here we have this to be x plus pi equals this, we multiply this, we have 2 times 3 pi. Okay, so for x plus pi equals 6 pi. Okay, so from here we can collect the like times. So this pi is coming here. So here we have x equals 6 pi minus pi. So the value of x equals 5 pi. The question says, solve for x in this equation. We have the cube root of 125 raised to power x plus 2 pi equals root 5 raised to power 6 pi. So how do we solve this? Solution. So for the cube root of 125, okay, raised to power x plus 2 pi, okay, equals root 5, okay, raised to power 6 pi as a power. So for the cube root of 125, we have it to be 5, okay. For 5 raised to power 3, we have 5 raised to power 3 to be 125. So we have 5, we have x plus 2 pi equals the root 5, we can write this as 5 raised to power 1 over 2, okay, raised to power 6 pi, which is the external exponent. So from here we have this as 5 raised to power x plus 2 pi equals, when we apply the exponent law, we have 5, we multiply this with this, we have this to be 3 pi, okay. So we compare the power. So here we have x plus 2 pi equals 3 pi, okay. So since we are solving for x, so we collect like times, we have x equals 3 pi minus 2 pi. So we have x equals pi, which is the value of x. So if x equals pi, okay, so let us check the value of x in this equation to look at the left hand side of the equation, whether it equates the right side of the equation. Let us check. Okay, so for the cube root of 125, okay, raised to power x plus 2 pi equals root 5, okay, raised to power 6 pi. So from here, the cube root of 125 is 5, okay, raised to power x plus 2 pi equals root 5, which is same thing as 5, 1 over 2, which is this, raised to power 6 pi, which is external power. So by the time we bring back x to be pi, so we have 5 pi plus 2 pi equals, so when we simplify this, we have 5, okay, raised to power 3 pi, okay. So for pi plus 2 pi is 3 pi equals 5 raised to power 3 pi. So when we look at this, the left hand side of the equation equates the right hand side of the equation. So that means the value of x is pi. The question says simplify root 9 raised to power pi times the cube root of 27 raised to power pi. So how do we do this? Solution. Okay, so for the cube root of 9 raised to power pi times the cube root of 27, okay, raised to power pi, okay. For the square root of 9, we have this to be 3, okay, raised to power pi times, for the cube root of 27, we have this to be 3, okay. Why? Because when we say 3 raised to power 3, we have it to be 27, okay. So the cube root of 27 is 3 raised to power pi, okay. So here we have the same base, multiplying the same base, we pick out 1, we add the power, so we have pi plus pi, so we have here to be 3 raised to power 2 pi. The question says simplify the fourth root of 16 raised to power pi divide the square root of 2 raised power pi. Okay, so how do we solve this? How do we simplify this? Solution. Okay, so for the fourth root of 16 raised power pi, okay, divide, we have the square root of 2, okay, raised power pi. So we can write this as the fourth root of 16, okay, raised power pi. When we write this question, divide the square root of 2 raised power pi, okay. For the fourth root of 16, we have it to be 2, okay, because 2 raised to power 4 gives 16, okay. So 2 raised to power pi for the fourth root of 16 divide. So for the square root of 2, you can write this as this, okay, raised to power pi. So for 2 raised to power pi, we have it to be 2 raised to power pi divide. So we can apply the exponent rule. So here we have 2 raised to power pi over 2. By the time this multiply this. So since we have division divided the same base, we pick out 1, which is 2. We subtract the power. So we have pi minus pi over 2. So from here, we simplify the power. So how do we do that? For pi minus pi over 2, okay, when we look for the LCM, we have this to be 2 pi, okay, minus pi. So by the time we subtract this, we have our final answer to be 2, which is this. When we subtract this, we have this to be pi over 2.